Good morning, everyone, once again. How are you all doing today? I'm really delighted and thrilled to be here today in front of you, participating in person, seeing so many people face to face, friends, colleagues, partners, customers, all in one common forum. Thank you very much for coming and joining us. And I welcome you all to our Kolkata Initiate Day. Actually, this is the last leg of our Initiate Day series. We've already done 3 Initiate Days so far at Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Bangalore over the last 1 month towards building a better India. And I also believe, and I'm sure you will also learn over the next few days, that today is a day of learning. Our Initiate Days have a little bit for everyone, so please take time to learn, network, and interact with each other. And most important, please take time to come and join us at the Industry Solution booths along with our partners. And also, we have a lineup of multiple breakout sessions or industry sessions focused on government and education, in the second half of the day. Before I dive into the agenda, I want to take a minute, and as Ajay was saying, there has been a lot of disruption. I just want to take a minute to acknowledge and to reflect on the difficulties and hardships all of us have faced over the last 2 years. The last 2 years have not been easy. And all of us, especially the public sector officials who have been in the front line, fighting the pandemic day in and out, protecting and serving the citizens of the country. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank all the public sector officials for making that happen. All the healthcare workers who risked their lives to save our lives. All the educators who continued to teach our children despite all the obstacles. All the government officials who worked overtime or maybe 24/7 to make sure we have the supply of essential items at our homes. Thank you very much. We couldn't have done this, or we couldn't have been able to navigate the pandemic without your support. As I said, I lead the government business and the public sector business for AWS India. I just want to talk about the mission of our team and what does the India public sector team really stand for. We want to make a positive impact to the life of every citizen of India through AWS engagement. And as Ajay said, over the last 2 years, we believe we got the opportunity, and we have made some of that possible by working with various government organizations, be it central government, state government, not-for-profit organizations, education institutes, and we were able to work with them very closely to launch and build some of the largest population scale platforms. We've all heard about COVID, right? How many of us have used COVID for our vaccination? A raise of hands? Yeah. So I think we all know COVID is the world's largest vaccination platform and has done close to 1.9 billion vaccinations. But think about it. Last year, January, nobody knew what will happen with this platform. And we have a task at hand to vaccinate 1.3 billion people. And again, this platform today, as I can see after 12, 18 months, it has touched the life of literally every citizen of India, saving lives. Second key platform that we were fortunate and we were privileged, we got the opportunity to work with the government is CDAC, eSanjeevani platform. We all know CDAC, eSanjeevani is a patient-to-doctor telemedicine platform. And I'm sure all of us will remember when the pandemic hit, the entire country went into lockdown. All the OPD departments, outpatient departments as hospitals, clinics were shut down. There was a dire need where people were able to get medical intervention or timely support. So we worked with CDAC under Ministry of IT to launch this patient-to-doctor telemedicine platform. They already had a doctor-to-doctor telemedicine platform, but for that, the rural people had to go and travel to the primary and secondary healthcare centers, and that was the only way to get teleconsultation. But I remember this platform was built grounds up in 19 days with features like audio-video consultation, e-prescription, live chat functionality with the doctor, and 1 billion people in the country are now able to access this teleconsultation platform completely free of cost. Kudos to government to make that happen. And while initially it was doing only maybe thousands of 5 or 10,000 teleconsultations a day, today if you see between doctor to doctor, patient to doctor, it is doing something like 100,000 teleconsultations a day, and that too largely for the people in rural India. Another key example very close to my heart is from the education and tech industry. We worked with Impartus to launch a virtual classroom solution. I'm sure all of us remember the entire education thing was disruptive at the time when the initially pandemic happened. So Impartus built a virtual classroom solution which was free of cost, available to all the education institutes. Within first 4 weeks of launch, the platform scaled to 500,000 students. 40,000 teachers and 80,000 institutes were able to hook onto this platform. And the main important thing is there were a lot of children, students, teachers who were hooking onto the platform for the first time, and they have never done online learning. So they had to mirror the entire physical classroom experience where children were not just getting the lectures, but they were also able to view the recorded sessions. I can go on and on talking about so many other platforms that we got the opportunity to work with government stakeholders. And I think we have a speaker from Mr. Chetra from McCourt here. We also worked with them, and I remember 160,000+ students who were getting graduated from Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad Technical University and for employment. We worked with them to move the entire online education system to online. And with one of our partners, Learning Spiral, we built an AI-based proctoring online examination system, which really helped McCourt to move forward. So we all know that COVID has accelerated the digital transformation by years. And this digital transformation is here to stay. And we've seen a lot of government organizations are now working towards progressing their mission forward, focusing on digital innovation and digital transformation. And again, I spoke about COVID earlier, my favorite example. COVID is today evolving into a universal immunization platform. What that really means is, beyond the COVID vaccination, we will be able to use COVID for universal immunization. There are 12+ vaccines which government is thinking of adding on the same platform, whether it is diphtheria, BCG, polio, 12 more vaccines will get added on the platform. And also, this platform is getting integrated with the other healthcare applications, maybe maternal and child health, reproductive child health. Every year, there are close to 50 million children and pregnant women who are supposed to be vaccinated, children between the age of 0 to 6 years. But there is no digital record that we have for them. That's a big issue. If government today, as far as their decision making, they have to make any medical interventions, especially in India, we have a big issue of infant mortality. How do they make sure they don't even know if the children are vaccinated or not, because there is no digital record. But once we have universal immunization in place, it will go a long way in solving that problem. Similarly, Arogya Setu, I'm sure at some point in time, we would have heard about Arogya Setu as the contact tracing application. But the government is not stopping there. They are evolving Arogya Setu into something called a citizen health app. And using that citizen health app, we will be able to create a 14-digit ABHA health account ID. Once, the way we have Aadhaar ID, the way we have driving license ID, the way we have PAN card, all of us as citizens of the country will have a unique health ID. And then using that unique health ID, you will be able to link all your health records. Your existing health record that sits maybe in some laboratory, or your some hospital record that sits in a hospital, you will be able to connect all of that, put in a central place. And think about a scenario. You're going from one hospital to the other, one doctor to the other. Today, you have to carry all your physical files. This will make your life very, very easy, because next time you go visit a doctor, you'll be able to tell him, I have this ABHA ID, and I'm giving you the consent. Please refer all my records using my health locker. It will really streamline a lot of things. So those are the kind of innovations we are seeing happening in the country. And it is not just about healthcare. All the other core government sectors, you talk about education, we talk about agriculture, skilling, power utilities, financial inclusion, all these sectors are transforming digitally. Agriculture, again, something very close to my heart. I come from a farmer family. 56% of the population of our country depends upon agriculture as a source of livelihood. But the issue with India is 86% of our farmers are small and marginal farmers. That means they have less than 1 acre of land as a cultivable land. And government has a challenge to double their farmer income. And that's not easy. And that can be only done with the help of technology. We are working with government on things like using the satellite data, providing real-time advisory services to the farmer, which can help them increase their crop yield or crop productivity. I can give you an example. Today, a farmer does not know what is the right time to sow a crop. Where does a farmer should go and sell his crop? Can we enable farm to fork where he can directly sell to the consumers? All these things, working with our startups, we can make that happen for our farmers. Similarly, on the skilling, National Skill Development Corporation is looking at skilling or reskilling 400 million people. And we are working with NSDC very, very closely on their mission. Things like Skill Development Management System or Skill India portal is hosted on AWS. Also, financial inclusion. Finance is key. During the time of pandemic, nobody wanted to use cash. Everybody wanted to do a digital transaction. But there is a technology happening at play. Similarly, on the businesses, government is looking at doing e-invoice as a mandate that any organization with more than 20 crores of turnover will have to now do e-invoicing. And think about now, if e-invoice has to happen, billions of invoices will be generated every year or every month now. But those invoices have to be unique. Every invoice will have a unique number. And cloud can make that happen with all the security, with all the scalability and flexibility. We're trying to work with them in terms of financial inclusion. Some of the other trends that we are seeing is the emergence of public-private partnership, where public and private institutions are coming together to deploy or build these open digital ecosystems. And also a very interesting case of use of open source and open technologies for using mission-critical systems. But again, if we see some of these examples that I spoke about are nothing but examples of speed, scale, innovation, and security, where customers were able to gain efficiency gains, cost savings, scalability, resiliency with the help of cloud. Very quickly, I want to talk about some key examples from the central and state government largely from the eastern region where we are working with them. Coven, I just spoke about briefly, but again, we should know that this is the world's fastest growing tech platform that has amassed 200 million users in 4 months, or 300 million users in 5 months. The database today has a single database of 900 million people getting stored on this database. And just quickly, maybe some of you may relate to this, the way Coven was launched in multiple parts. Last year, 16th of January was the day when it was launched, but at that point in time, it was only launched for the frontline and healthcare workers. And then gradually over the next phases from 60 plus, 45 plus, 18 plus years of age, and that's how the platform scaled. But if you'll see this graph, on 16th of January, there was no load on the platform. Nobody knew what will happen. And I remember initially there were a lot of glitches on the platform because the software was not robust, the software was not performing well, and government and everybody took time to stabilize the platform. But over a period of time, look at the graph. From 2 million hits on 16th of January, the platform scaled to 1.2 billion hits. Can anybody estimate what is the kind of scale we are talking here? Is it 2x, 3x, 4x, 10x? We are talking about 100x or 1000x scale. Now think about a scenario as IT professionals, if we have to think about this kind of peak on our on-premise legacy systems, how much of hardware will you order? Because the peaks are not here to stay. You're on a peak only for maybe 1 day or 1 hour, but can you afford an outage at that point in time? That is where cloud comes into picture. That means unlimited scale, literally infinite scale, thousands of servers available at the click of a button, and those things are available for you. So this scale chart is very, very important. I know this is a busy slide. I'll not talk about it in detail, but anybody wants to understand what went behind the scenes to make Coven happen, which did not even have a 1 minute of downtime as far as the technology infrastructure is concerned. But I want to leave you with one point. The way we look at cloud is primarily infrastructure, compute, network, storage, but trust me, that is not what real cloud is. Cloud is about services. We have 200 plus services. And in the case of Coven, I want to tell you that there was not even a single third-party software that was used to build and scale this platform. Whether it is database, whether it is API gateway, container orchestration engine, load balancer, everything was provided as a service. Now, I've been talking about agility, I've been talking about scale, but typically what we see is only the infrastructure or servers can scale. But what about databases? How many licenses do you need to offer if you're looking for a commercial grade database? The licenses or the other services also have to be scaled up and down. In the case of Coven, everything expanded, and now it has shrunk back again, depending upon the user load. And again, database is one of the key highlights of this data solution. We've used something called a DynamoDB, which scaled to, I don't know how many of you are technical here, but something like 150,000 transactions per second. These numbers are unheard of. And it has 600 plus partitions, distributed partitions, which scales automatically. Very quickly, talking about CSCs, Common Service Centers. Again, a big catalyst that we have in the country, 450,000 physical centers providing e-services to the rural population of India. Anybody wants to get any basic e-service, Aadhaar card, birth certificate, death certificate, I think CSCs are making that happen. But here we worked with CSC to help them with their digital literacy mission in the rural villages. People do not know what literacy is. So they wanted to pick up one individual from every family. And this project was called PMJ Disha, or Digital Saksharta Abhiyan. We enabled that on AWS. And today they have more than 46 million people who have been trained on this platform using AWS services. Webel, we have Mr. Randhir Kumar, MD of Webel here. I'm sure he'll talk about more. But again, a very, very interesting use case, blockchain. We worked with Webel to move their blockchain application on AWS. That means all the birth certificate, death certificate registry was built on AWS blockchain technology. And we all know as blockchain as a concept provides you immutable databases, and that is what had happened. Now this platform scales up and down. And once they have the confidence, Webel literally moved their other social media websites and few other websites on AWS. Again, Numaligarh refinery is from the east, and they were looking at expansion of their refineries. Right now, they do something like 3 million metric tons per annum, but they wanted to scale their capacity from 3 million metric tons to 9 million metric tons. And for that, they had billions of dollars of investment as part of the refinery expansion, and 48 months in hand. But now think about it, if something like that has to happen, it requires a lot of collaboration between the stakeholders, internal stakeholders, external stakeholders. So we worked with Numaligarh Refinery to deploy integrated electronic data and document management system on the cloud, which really streamlined the entire process from all the engineering reviews, the workflow approvals, the workforce management was happening on the cloud. And not just that, NRL is today able to gain cost savings of close to 25% because of deployment on the cloud. Again, something happened a few years ago, but very, very close to my heart, Department of IT, Government of Manipur. They have moved the entire state data center on AWS. They had 16 plus citizen-facing applications and websites which were migrated to AWS. And today, any new government department who wants to build an application, Manipur government is able to offer it on demand as a service, whether it is computing, network storage, everything is available to them as a service. And we have a speaker from ORSAC later. Again, they had a lot of satellite data available on them, and they wanted to make sense of that satellite data using AI machine learning. So using some of our services, we've been able to move that data on AWS, and now they're trying to build AI and machine learning applications. Government of West Bengal, we spoke about teleconsultation, and we enabled the entire state of West Bengal to launch their teleconsultation solution on AWS. And again, it didn't stop there. After that, they have launched teleoncology, teleneurology, telecardiology. All those solutions gradually have been migrated on AWS. Maha-IT, very quickly, is a nodal body who became our partners, not just as taking these solutions, but also we worked with them to enable their workforce. And basis that, you can see a lot of government departments have moved their solutions, DBT, right to services, tourism, and farmer services have been moved on AWS. Byju's. I'm sure all of us would have heard about Byju's, the largest education technology provider in the country. And again, Byju's is somebody who realized the importance of cloud very early on in 2015. They moved all their legacy IT systems on AWS because at that point in time, they had a beautiful K-12 app, and they wanted to scale their operation. Maybe it was initially 5 to 10 million users, but today, if you see, they have 100 plus million users. And again, it was very difficult for them to predict those scales, so they worked with us as and when they were looking at going global. Any country they wanted to expand their operations, cloud came handy, and they're able to scale their operations. But what really sets AWS apart? I think the main thing here is experience. AWS has been providing cloud services for the last 15 years. And as we say internally, there is no compression algorithm to experience. You can't learn certain lessons unless you reach that specific scale, and that is what today AWS is able to provide these services in a very scalable manner. Second is the breadth and depth. As I said, cloud is not just about infrastructure. All the peripheral services that you need, so 200 plus services available at the click of a button that you can deploy while building applications. Global footprint, I spoke about Byju's. Any edtech today, when they are looking at going global, US, Canada, China, when they have to, we have 26 regions, 84 availability zones available for you, which you can use to scale your operations. Pricing, we're all public sector, we're all government. Pricing is very important for us. Everything is L1, the lowest cost. AWS has reduced our prices 115 times since we have launched AWS. And again, it's very easy to say that we have lowered our prices, but it is difficult to be able to afford lowering prices over a period of time and taking the cost out of our cost structure. That is what AWS does. All the economies of scale, we want to pass on those benefits to our customers. Again, quick slide. While it is a marketing slide, you can see AWS is on the top right corner on the Gartner Magic Quadrant. and we are the leaders as far as the Gartner Magic Quadrant. But again, this is not so much about technology as far as I'm concerned. I believe we are the leaders because of the culture of the company. We are extremely long-term focused. We are customer obsessed. We are looking at building relationships or businesses which will outlast all of us. 90% of our roadmap is driven by what customer tells us they want. We don't do it on our own. We try to read between the lines and try to innovate on behalf of our customers. A very quick snapshot. We have 7,500 government organizations using AWS, 14,000 education institutes, 35,000 not-for-profit organizations using AWS today. And a quick snapshot of public sector other government customers, from Indian Railways to CSC to CRIS. Today, Indian Railways run their train scheduling application called Satsang on AWS. They also run their e-catering application on AWS. IFCO, I remember when IFCO wanted to build an e-commerce portal to connect all the farmers and cooperative societies, they looked at AWS because, again, it was a scalable platform. NEML, we have heard about it, is the largest commodity exchange platform. 80% of the commodities exchange that happens in the country happens on NEML, runs on AWS. M-Junction is again based here in Kolkata. They have moved their application on AWS, whether it is e-procurement or online e-auction, runs on AWS. And also, we have a lot of examples from states. Government of Telangana, we saw it in the video, they have moved their entire e-office application. It was a complex migration which took them a few months. But today, the entire e-office, the entire state health insurance application of Telangana runs on AWS. MSCDCL, so maybe I can share details later if anybody wants to learn more about them. Startups, something very, very close to my heart. Startups are the route to innovation. As far as government or any organization is looking at problem solving, we work with a lot of startups. Few interesting examples, Dozy, if you see, Dozy is a health tech and who works in the remote health monitoring or patient ICUs. They have a solution which can be, you can deploy that under the bedsheet of a patient, and basis that this solution start tracking all the vitals in real time. The blood pressure, the heart, and think about a scenario. Now, doctor has those things available with only physical contact, and it's a contactless service, and you can make all those medical interventions happen. And again, a very, very small, tiny sample of our education edtechs. Who's who of the education industry is here, from Sharda University, Bennett University, NIIT, a lot of edtechs. Edtechs love to build their platforms in AWS. That's the kind of footprint we have. I spoke about startups. And we believe startups are the ones who are helping us build these solutions for our customers. And we have some global programs to enable the startups because at times startups lack the resources to scale them. Very interesting program called AWS Startup Ramp. Under that, this is a program meant for startups focused only on government sector, public sector innovation. It could be a GovTech, it could be a health tech, it could be a fintech. Any startup who wants to solve societal problems on the government space is a program meant for them, where we provide them cloud credits, we provide them community support, we provide them business support, and not just that. More important is go-to-market support, engaging with government and other stakeholders. That is what is there required. And we have similarly a few other programs on the commercial side. Activate and NetStart is only meant for our education startups. So I think so far what I've really done is I've spoken only about technology. But do you really think is technology enough to make all these things happen? I don't think so. For any successful cloud migration or modernization journey, the more important thing, than even I think equally important thing, is about people and processes. Unless and until people are aware of what needs to happen, they will not be able to use these things. We have a goal of training 29 million people by 2025. And over the last 4 years, we've already trained close to 2.5 million people in Asia Pacific. These are some of the programs that you have, whether you are looking at doing a digital training, a classroom training, or a proper certification from a Prometric center, or even integrating with the education institutes. All of these programs are available. The more important thing is digital trainings. We have invested millions of dollars, and again, there is a program called AWS Skill Builder, where we have 500 plus online courses available. That means anybody in the country today with an internet connection and a desire to learn can learn more about cloud computing and all the associated technologies. So, spoke about Educate, Academy, Restart. Again, Restart is very, very important program that we've launched, where we work with people from the underprivileged sections and helping them build their careers on cloud technology. It is not just about online. It is a 12-week instructor-led program where we work with them, provide them all the hand-holding so that they can build their programs and support. I know I've been talking a lot. This is the last slide in terms of some key takeaways for you. In case all of us are serious about our cloud migration journey, but trust me, cloud is not an all in or nothing. Cloud journey is a process, is a 12 to 24 month process. So these are some of the things that we need to keep in mind based on our experience engaging with a lot of customers worldwide. The first and the most important thing is we can't really boil the ocean. We can't migrate all the applications on the cloud in one go. You will have to pace it up. We can help you with your portfolio assessment, helping you come up with a short-term, mid-term, long-term goal. What are those low-hanging fruits which will give us the confidence to gradually migrate your other applications? So pacing up is important. The second thing is leadership alignment. It has to be really seen like a top-down goal, where everybody in the organization takes it very seriously, that this is not so much about only cost, this is about speed, scale, agility, and innovation. The third, I spoke about skills. Unless and until our people are confident about what they are doing, so skill enablement is important. And last but not the least, partners. I've been speaking about partners. We work completely through our partners, so we have 100,000 partners in 150 countries, so please work with our partners, a lot of good partners, whether it is a system integration company, an ISV, a startup, even we are all here are partners, so please do leverage our partners who will help you in your cloud migration and modernization journey. That's all I have for you today. Thank you very much. I look forward to collaborating with all of you.